All right, so you've decided EXP is the brokerage you want to join, but how do you choose a sponsor? Well, in this video, we're going to talk about what you should look out for when choosing a sponsor at EXP Realty. And that's coming up right now. Hey everyone, welcome back to Freedom Agents. This YouTube channel is all about providing free value to realtors or people thinking of becoming a realtor, and just how to be successful in real estate sales, but also how to create additional streams of passive income for a life of financial freedom. My name is Marc Brenner. I'm a local realtor here in Atlanta, and if you're thinking about joining EXP or you're trying to decide what kind of brokerage you want to join, if you have any questions about what kind of lead generation strategies you should pursue as a new agent, I would love if you reached out. You can book an appointment with me directly using the link in the description below. You can also call me, text me, or shoot me an email. But if you need help picking a brokerage, if you need help picking a path forward in real estate, that is why I'm here. So feel free to reach out anytime. I've got agents reaching out all the time. We absolutely love it. So would love to hear from you and where you're at in this journey. Okay, so today we're gonna be talking about how to choose a sponsor at EXP Realty. So this video is sort of assuming already that you've researched various brokerages and decided EXP is the right fit for you. Now I have another video about how to choose a brokerage, and of course I'm at EXP. I have a lot of videos of what it's like to be at EXP Realty, so there's no shortage of information to help you make your decision. But if you have decided that you want to join EXP, but maybe you don't have a particular person that's helped shepherd you through the process and that you want to be your sponsor, so how do you choose a sponsor at EXP Realty? Now, you may not even really be thinking about this question, but it's a very important decision to make, and that's why I made this video, because who you choose to join in terms of a downline and who to be your sponsor is going to have a massive impact on the trajectory of your career, the resources and support that's available to you, and a lot of different factors throughout your real estate career at EXP Realty. So similar to choosing a broker, it's not a decision you should take lightly. You really want to do your research and diligence prior to making the decision. So let's get right into how you can decide who you want to sponsor you at EXP Realty. All right, so real quick before we get into my recommendations for how to choose, if you're wondering what is a sponsor at EXP Realty, what is a downline, what is an upline, well, just real quick, one of the biggest benefits of EXP as a brokerage, one of the reasons for its absolutely explosive growth is the revenue share program. This is merely a program to incentivize bringing other agents into the brokerage, which is the goal of any brokerage, to increase in numbers, and it typically increases your bottom line. You're gonna do this at any brokerage you work for. Probably they're gonna encourage you to bring in other people. They may even incentivize you to do it. But what makes EXP unique is that you have the most optimal system to reward you for recruiting at EXP. Take Keller Williams, for instance. They talk a lot about their profit share model. And it is similar to EXP's model, except that keyword, their profit, where because they are a brick and mortar franchise institution, when you bring folks into Keller Williams, you will only receive benefits if your particular market center is profitable, whereas EXP has a revenue share model. So regardless of the overall profitability of the company, if the agents you bring into your downline reach their cap for the year, you will have a financial reward. There's a lot of other things that go into that, but there's no doubt EXP has the biggest benefit for recruiting agents into its brokerage. Now, the reason this is so impactful is twofold. One, it creates the opportunity to create a new and potentially very large stream of passive income in addition to what you're doing in real estate sales. So just by doing the natural recruiting processes, being excited about real estate in your brokerage, you can create another form of passive income where you get a paycheck each month based on the volume that the agents in your downline are doing. The other reason it's hugely beneficial is because when you join a a downline, you should have a huge amount of resources from the people above you to help you be successful, to pour into you, to train you, to really create a lot of benefit for being in their downline. So it's dually beneficial, to research whose downline you want to be in, and also to put a lot of work into bringing people into your downline. So that's a little bit about the downline at EXP Realty and why you should care about it. Let's get into some of my tips for deciding who you want to sponsor you at EXP. So my first big tip for this process, and really the main one, maybe obvious, maybe not obvious, but you want to align with someone who is doing what you want to be doing at some point in the future. I think ideally when you join EXP and you choose a sponsor, you really want to ask yourself, what is my end goal for this real estate sales journey? Whether you're an individual agent or creating a team, what is your end vision? Do you want to be a real estate agent? Do you want to create a team? Do you want to create a mega team? Do you want to create a team that you can step out of so that you can receive passive income? There's a lot of different ways that you can make money in real estate. There's a lot of different business models that you can create within the traditional real estate sales model. So you need to ask yourself, who is doing at a high level what I want to be doing at some point? And then that is probably going to be a person you should consider aligning yourself with at EXP Realty. So that might be a massive mega team, right? You want to lead a mega team that brings in, a million net income for you each year. So you're gonna have to have a big team with a lot of agents. You're gonna have to build that structure. Well, you're gonna wanna align yourself with someone who can train you to do that, someone you can learn from, give you advice, and exactly how to get where you wanna be. Now, for me, what I wanted to do was create a real estate team that was based on YouTube leads, based on my YouTube channel, Living in Atlanta. So I chose to partner with Jesse Dow and Jackson Wilkie over at the Real Agent Now group. They have basically the #1 YouTube agents in the world, okay? And completely legit, lots of resources, incredible success, and lots of training. And they're been able to step out of their business and have YouTube generate leads that their agents can close without them being involved every day. That is the route that I have chosen to go. And so I've aligned myself with Jesse and Jackson, and I get all their materials, the YouTube boot camps, all the YouTube training materials, all the insight and knowledge from creating something that I am trying to create. So you're talking to people who have already been there and done that before. And this has been hugely beneficial to creating my vision for my business. So it's really down to what your vision for your business is. For instance, people who align with me, what I tell them is, I'm not a great fit for everybody. If you're interested in lead generating through YouTube, I could be a great fit for you. If you're interested in working with real estate investors and becoming a real estate investor yourself, then I might be a really good fit for you. If you are interested in cold calling FSBOs and expireds, you may want to reach out to someone else who's really good at that, like Lloyd Velasquez, or building his business off cold calling. I probably wouldn't be the greatest resource for that. So all that to say, think about where you want to be. Think about the types of lead generation you're interested in, and think about the business you want to have in 5 to 10 years, and who is the person who's already modeling those behaviors. That's my first tip in how to choose a sponsor. All right, so my second tip for choosing a sponsor is understanding who is in your upline. So again, one of the huge benefits of this whole system at EXP Realty is not only do you have your immediate sponsor, but if you have a really powerful upline, you're gonna have people above them that are providing you resources. For instance, when you join my downline, you not only get the resources of Jesse and Jackson with the YouTube agents, but we are in Jay Kinder's downline from Kinder Reese Coaching and the Honey Badger Network. And that links you into a whole network of highly successful agents who are really good at recruiting, really good at using YouTube to generate leads, and really good at building big teams that you can step out of. So anyone who joins my downline gets coaching from me, coaching on YouTube, coaching on working with investors. They get the resources coming from my upline as well. So it's really important, if you have an immediate sponsor, ask them who their sponsor is. Ask them what benefits they receive from their upline. You want it to be really robust pretty much all the way up. And ideally you want to have a group, you want to have a downline of people who are just providing value, not being stingy, not being secretive, but just people who are providing content, value, advice, time to everyone in their network. And you can really create a sort of downline community within EXP that I've seen be very supportive and very resourceful in the Honey Badger network at EXP Realty. So you want to understand what your sponsor can offer, but you also want to understand what their sponsors can offer you. All right, so my third tip for choosing a sponsor is understanding what your sponsor is offering, right? So you want to set expectations. You want to know exactly what the sponsor is offering for you joining their downline. For me, it's personal coaching once a week and it's groups once a week. So that's 2 coaching sessions a week for everyone in my downline. And I have a pretty open availability for them. So that's a very time intensive. I can do that at this point. I'm not going to always be able to do that. Your potential sponsor might not offer any coaching. They may offer a once a month group with everyone in their downline. You can call them anytime and ask them any question and do any training and get any resource. It's going to vary. People have different amounts of time. They can commit to different levels of things. So you really just want to have a mutual expectation with your sponsor. What are they going to offer? How are you going to be able to communicate with them? How often will you be able to ask questions? Will they be providing resources and contacts and referrals? You really want to understand the value proposition. This whole process is very similar to choosing a broker. Okay, again, what I always say with choosing a broker is that if you're really going to be successful in this industry, you will be successful regardless of the broker. So the decision really becomes who's offering the most value for where you're at and for where you want to be in your journey of owning this real estate sales business. Same thing for the downline, okay? Who is offering you the biggest value proposition? You can join anyone's downline. It's your choice and you can't change that once you've made the decision. So you don't want to, act like you're doing someone a favor or they're doing you a favor. You just want to understand what the mutually agreed upon time, effort, and energy that will be put into that relationship is. All right, so my fourth tip for choosing a sponsor is talking to someone else in this person's downline, right? So you really want to hear it from the horse's mouth, someone who's been in their downline for a while, interacted with them, been in some of the coachings, whether it's group or personal. Ask them if they feel like they're getting a lot of benefit from that. Ask them how often they're meeting, how often and how quickly they get their questions answered, what kind of resources they're having provided to them. Just like you would call someone, a previous employer if you're doing a job interview to check for references. You want to check for references from people who are already in this person's downline. What are they really like once they've already got you in the downline? Are they really pouring in and providing a lot of value? So, it may seem a little extra or intense, but these are important decisions that you can't take back. So definitely think it's worth asking, hey, can you give me 1 or 2 names of people that are in your downline? And would it be okay if I reached out to them just to kind of ask what their experience has been? So I think that could be hugely beneficial in making this choice. All right, my 5th and final tip for choosing a sponsor is give it some time. And what I mean by that is if it's possible for your situation, give it some time to interact with this person over the period of a few weeks or a few months, have meetings with them, understand what their value propositions are, understand what their business currently looks like, and just give it some time, right? It's really hard to make decisions. It's kind of like a prearranged marriage. You don't know the person and you're going to be spending the rest of your life with them. Now, you may not ever have contact with them again, but that's not what you want. And that's the whole purpose for the video, is that you want a sponsor that you will have contact with, that'll really be pouring into you, and that will help you get where you're trying to go. So my last piece of advice is, if possible, give it a little time. If they're local to you, this will obviously be a little bit easier. Whether you get lunch with them over the course of a few weeks, it could be a lot of different scenarios. If they're in another state, maybe you're doing Zoom meetings with them. Maybe you're just, you want to ask them some things, ask them to follow up on some things, give an opportunity to see how responsive they are, if they're patient with you, if they're willing and open with their resources. Giving it some time will really give you a better sense of what it'll be like to work with this person long term, and if they're really like what you think they're like based on meeting. And we all know people can change, people can put on faces, so not that anyone's trying to fool you. I'm not telling you to be, overly pessimistic or nervous about the situation, but if you can, spend some time with them, peek under the hood, so to speak, get to know what they're like, what their patience level is, what their giving level is. And I think that'll help you make a much more informed, confident decision. So if you can, if your situation allows, give it a little bit of time so that you can, get to know what they're like and then make a decision based off of the interactions you've had with them over a longer course of time. All right, guys, so those are my tips for how to choose a sponsor when you're joining EXP Realty. I hope that was helpful. It's a big decision, and this is one of the biggest benefits of EXP Realty. Even outside of having the opportunity to create another line of passive income, you're basically choosing who you want your all-star team to be. You're choosing who you want your coaching and support system to be, in one sense. They may be nothing to you, and that means you probably made a bad decision if they're not providing any value, or you could have an entire resource support system getting you where you want to be. So you can get a lot of value out of this, or you can kind of swing and miss and not really get out of any value out of it. So take your time, don't make the decision lightly, use some of the tips I mentioned in this video, and hopefully that'll help you have a great experience. If you want to talk more about this with me, if you want to know what people in my downline get exactly, or if you just have questions in general, again, reach out to me. You can book an appointment, give me a call or email me. I would love to talk with you. So thank you for watching. As always, please like and subscribe. This YouTube channel is purely about providing free value, free content for agents who are trying to be successful and achieve financial freedom. My name is Marc Brenner, and I'll see you next time.